I mean, Juan Soto's a great player, and he's at the incredible age that he's at too. He's in the prime of his career, and he's just one of the most elite hitters we're going to see in our generation. Saying all that, Joel, I may surprise you by saying I'm not sure it's in the Yankees' best interest to go down this path. Um, I don't think there's any one way to win in the game, and I think it's foolish to present things like if we don't have this player, that we're never going to get a chance to win. The Yankees have three players committed to $108 million on their payroll. If they signed Juan Soto, as you just said, with a six in front of it, now they have 168 million for players. Simply the math does not work. I mean, their depth of their system and the impact of their prospects just don't allow them to put a quality team on the field in the aggregate with the depth you need to win in today's game. So if I'm the Yankees, I certainly would want him back, but I would anticipate you're going to lose him because I don't think they're as desperate in the situation as the other three teams are. I don't think the Mets are in that situation either. I think Toronto by far is the most desperate team in this hunt. I think he's the only guy that kind of saves them and relates to the position they're in. So I'd spend a lot of my time. I've read articles, Joel. I mean, I do like Bellinger as a fit there. Actually, I'm a Profar guy. I think he'd be a perfect leadoff type hitter for him in left field. I'd give Jason Dominguez another year of development because I know I'm going to need him at some point in time during the season. I'd kick the tires on Alonso. I think his bat profile's better in his swing because he hits a lot of his home runs to center. I think that works in Yankee Stadium in right field. Christian Walker's a dead pull hitter. I kick the tiles on Arenado, finding what his acquisition price would be. It's only a 3-year deal and how much money I could get taken back in the deal. So I'd be going in a lot of different directions, knowing that, listen, Soto by far gives me the most dynamic player. But the reality of it is I got to field the team.
Yeah.
And there are limits of a payroll for any team in the game, including the Yankees. So I actually be spending a lot of my time trying to figure out how we're going to build a championship team without Juan Soto being on it. And I'm not sure, again, that's not in their best interest long term.
Yeah, look, I'm not here to champion Hal Steinbrenner. I'm sure him and his family are well off financially, but I do think Hal is being honest when he says for him $300 million payrolls are not sustainable long term. I do think they begin every year by paying $85 million to the city for the ballpark, that 300 million plus tax, plus operating costs, plus all the Steinbrenner children and grandchildren who are on the books who have to, Hal has a lot of mouths to feed there. And again, there's not going to be sympathy for Hal. But I will say this about being Hal Steinbrenner. It's a zero-sum game chasing these players because every time one of them is up, he hears from his fan base, well, you know what your father would have done, which is all nonsense because I actually covered his father, and his father was a bad owner as much as he was a good owner for most of the time he was there. Got kind of lucky when he was suspended that they put great players in. And look, they said this. He traded for Stanton with 10 years and 300 million left on it. He gave Garrett Cole the largest pitching contract in history. He gave Aaron Judge the largest positional contract per year in history. There is never going to be, the moment he signed Soto, they're going to be like, why aren't you signing Corbin Burns? Your father would sign Corbin Burns. So there's like a zero
Yeah.
sum game there for him about like, and to your point, is he better off doing, hey, I'll bring in Santander, trade for Bellinger, put Willie Adames at third base, and I got a better all around team. And it's probably close to the total dollars per year for a shorter term than Soto.
Yeah. I mean, I always look to build teams in the aggregate because if you look at the roster churn of major league clubs, you're going through 40 plus players a year. So the depth, is your ability to stay competitive both short term and long term.